You just need to work a little harder. Maybe wake up earlier. Maybe 3 a.m. Heck, why even go to bed? Or actually, maybe just power through lunch and get it all done. You know what? You don't need lunch. You need a protein coffee and a large gust of wind on the way to your next meeting. Just try those things, and then maybe you'll finally feel like you're on top of things. Obviously, I am kidding, but that is the lie that high capacity women are being sold. That hustle is the price of admission for a meaningful life. Hey, and welcome to the podcast. I'm Mary Ashley. I'm an executive coach to high capacity women, especially working moms who want to be present at home and succeed at work. And not just survive both, but do both really, really well. Last episode, we laid the groundwork for everything we're going to do here. We talked about why high capacity women, especially working moms, don't need another planner. They need an operating system. And we unpacked how the foundation of that system starts with identity. Getting crystal clear on who you are, what you value, and what ideal looks like in each of the roles that you play. Because when you don't know who you are, you end up building a life on everyone else's expectations. When you do know who you are, everything starts to align. Your goals, your rhythms, your decisions, your peace. So today we're talking about what happens when your life gets hijacked by hustle. When you start believing the lie that if you just keep performing, eventually the peace, the confidence, and balance will follow. But here's the truth. Hustle might build results and it might be impressive on the gram, but it cannot build worth. And that is the problem that so many high-performing women are living in without even realizing it. Your worth has quietly defaulted to your performance. So let's just call it out. Hustle is an easy sell for women like us. You are capable. You are wired for responsibility. You very well can do it all. So when the world says do more, be more, move faster, we nod and we're like, yeah, okay, I'll figure it out. But what it actually sells us is the illusion of control. You think, if I stay busy enough, I'll stay safe. If I do enough, I'll be enough. And it works until it doesn't. One of my high-performing working mom clients said, if I am not moving 100 miles an hour, I am not living into my full potential. And that is exactly what hustle does. It convinces you that exhaustion is normal, that busyness is honorable, and that stillness means you're somehow falling behind. You keep saying yes because saying no feels selfish, and you keep pushing because slowing down feels like failure. You wake up tired, you go to bed wired, and your brain never really turns off because if you are not holding it all together, who will? Your worth has become a moving target measured in output. Emails answered, meetings led, workouts done, lunches packed. Bonus points if you also remembered the ice cream money and volunteered at this week's PTA luncheon. And every time you drop a ball, you wonder if it says something about you. That is the lie of hustle culture. It does not just steal your rest, it steals your identity. Because when your worth is tied to what you do, you forget who you are. And if that sounds familiar, let me just say this as loudly and clearly as I can for the people in the back. You are not broken. You are not lazy. You are not failing. You have been conditioned to believe that your performance is your proof of value, that your output is what earns you your piece of real estate here on earth, and that if you push just a little harder, people will see your heart. That peace is something you earn after everything is done. But that constant pressure you feel, it is not peace. It's panic dressed as productivity in this week's newly order. It is the invisible anxiety of wondering, will they still think I'm capable if I slow down? Will they still respect me if I rest? I see it all the time. High capacity women who can lead massive teams at work but crumble inside their own minds at night. Women who are so used to carrying the weight that they don't even notice how heavy it's gotten. They don't stop to ask, does this load even make sense anymore? They just assume they should get stronger. And maybe that's you. You've maybe built a beautiful life and you don't even feel present in it. You are performing your way through your days, running a race with no finish line, chasing a version of yourself you can never quite catch. So here's the question I want you to sit with. What if your worth was never something you had to earn? What if the hustle, the constant motion, the striving, the proving was not the path to your dream life, but the very thing keeping you from it? Because hustle is the illusion of progress. When you look up the definition of illusion, let's look. It is the false or misleading perception of reality, where something appears to be a certain way. Now, when I think of an illusion, I think about a magician. It's all about the art of misdirection. I'm going to divert your attention over here so you don't see what I'm doing over here, which is the actual trick. Obviously, a very skilled magician. I'm going to divert your attention over here where you think the longer hours, the saying yes to everything, the output equals value is what will create the life you want. But the life you actually want is over here. And in fact, if you are a Christ follower like I am, you will know there is an enemy that is against you, actively working in the spiritual realms that we cannot see. And I believe that hustle culture is one of his schemes to keep us as high capacity, Christ following women from reaching our full potential. Because he knows once we figure it out, once we allow ourselves the rest and intentionality of designing our lives and ordering our days according to our callings, he's in trouble. There are few things he hates more than women on mission for the kingdom of God, living and walking in the peace that we are called to. So you might be moving fast, but are you moving in the right direction? I have before, but I do not now buy the lie that says you have to sacrifice yourself on the altar of success. Not your body, not your mind, and not your peace. As a mom, as a wife, a business owner, a woman of faith, I cannot afford that price, and neither can you. You have too much responsibility to live in survival mode. Your family needs your presence more than your perfection. Your team needs your clarity, your discernment, your direction more than your speed. And you deserve a life that runs on alignment, not adrenaline. And that's why we do that work inside the aligned action framework. We are not just managing time better or setting smarter goals, though we are doing those things. We are rewiring the system underneath it all. That's why we start with identity, who you are and what matters most to you. It's why we dive into mindset and it's intertwined throughout the whole process. The beliefs that either drive or derail you. And finally, it's behind the rhythms we establish, the systems and the habits that make your life work for you and align with your roles, not the other way around. Because once you get rooted in who you are, you don't need to hustle to prove your worth anymore. You build a life that's sustainable, satisfying, and full of purpose. So if you are tired of measuring your worth by your productivity, if you've been living in that gap between what looks good and what feels right, take this episode as your permission slip to stop. Stop it. Not to quit, but to pause long enough to ask, what if the life I am chasing isn't the life I actually want? Or what if the way I'm chasing it will not actually get me to the life that I want? You don't need to hustle harder. You just have to live more aligned. So take a deep breath. Your worth is already handled. You've got nothing to prove and no gold stars to collect. Unless, of course, your 4-year-old is like mine and likes to give you gold stickers for good behavior. Next week, we're going to tackle the next domino, which is time. Specifically, why your calendar keeps running your life and how to take back control without burning it all down. Because you cannot live aligned if your hours are owned by everyone else. We'll see you there. If today's episode hit home, If you are realizing that hustle is just not working anymore, I would love to help you build an operating system for your life. Join the waitlist for the Aligned Action Framework. It's my coaching program that helps high performing women, especially working moms, create a life that runs on purpose, not pressure. You can join at the link in the show notes. And hey, if you loved this conversation, share it with a friend who is also tired of performing for her worth. I'll see you next week.